So one of the other questions I get a lot of time, and I think there's been some updates with the FHA guidelines, and it also affects the down payments, is qualifications for buying a condo versus a townhouse and a single family. Can you give us a little bit of update on where is that? What kind of down payments do people need to do a condo versus a townhouse or a single family home?
Sure. So if we're talking specifically about FHA, it used to be you can only finance a condo using FHA financing if the condo was already on the FHA approved list, which in Palm Beach County narrows it to 5 or 6 condos countywide.
Sure.
Now they're doing a process called spot approval, which basically is just one-off getting condos approved by HUD through the FHA to finance a condo. And so if successful, you can do 3.5% down FHA financing on that condo.
Okay.
And we've successfully closed a few since that's been rolled out. More common is conventional financing.
Yep.
So on a conventional loan, first-time buyer, the borrower has to qualify, the condo has to qualify, and then third, the condo has to allow in their bylaws for someone to buy with 3% down.
Right.
So it's actually 3 different checks.
Right.
Because I've actually had in the past, and I'll never make this mistake twice, I had a deal get clear to close. I'll never forget it in Hollywood, Florida. 5% down loan, clear to close, condo met all the eligibility. At the very end of the process, they couldn't get an HOA approval because they were doing a 5% down loan that nobody bothered. You know, it got past all of us. And so
Sure. So that's a great point, and that's where it really takes someone who has the quality and experience that you and your team have, as well as working with a real estate company who has those same experiences, because that's where a lot of interface with real estate agents. A lot of what I do is getting those documents for you for the HOA.
Team.
Yeah, you need a really quality team. So that's a great point.
I'll back that up also with, in order for anyone to buy a condo with less than 25% down, the condo has to have some real specific qualifications. Generally, we just look for no major structural litigations and a certain amount of reserves in their budget.
Sure.
So basically, our interests are aligned with our borrowers.
Prices have gone up a lot over the past few years, as we all know, in this market. And there are properties that are coming to market which need some work. They're great, they offer great value, but they really need some improvements, some renovation. So along that theme of aligning with borrowers, I know that you have some restrictions or some ideas for if someone's looking at a property that needs renovation, there are certain red flags that would prevent them from getting conventional financing.
Sure.
Can we go over a couple of what those items are?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So major ones tend to be related to water damage.
Okay.
So I always recommend for realtors, borrowers, walk through the house, look at the ceiling, look for any clear evidence of past water damage, because when an appraiser comes through the house, a lot of times people buy houses knowing that the roof needs to be replaced or that it's going to need work at some point, but they're okay with that. But if our appraiser goes through the house and they see a water spot on the ceiling or they see evidence of water damage, they're gonna flag the appraisal and require a clear roof certificate to finance.
Okay.
Okay, and so that's where you'll have issues getting financed.
So that's a big red flag.
Big
How
one.
about things like flooring, appliances?
So generally, appliances are fine. Appliances don't have to be in. We look for safety issues.
Okay.
Right? So if there's a bathroom that's ripped out, or if there's exposed wiring in the wall, or if there's, again, water damage or mold on the walls or broken windows with sharp glass, like things that are clear hazard issues. Or a big one is a pool that's not full, and you've got this huge hole in the backyard.
Yep,
things like that. And I half laugh, but I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm sure you have too.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
So generally, you want to think about safety. And so we don't want to lend on something that has known safety issues. Now, if someone is aware of these issues and is buying the place as is, knowing they're getting a good deal and they're going to have to rehab the property, there's still ways to finance.
Sure.
And so a lot of times it could involve maybe escrow holdback, meaning at closing, there's $20,000 worth of work that needs to be done. We'll require the borrower to escrow at closing that amount plus a small buffer. We'll get a couple bids from contractors. We'll release those funds, pay the contractors as soon as the work is done.
Okay, so that's a lot of flexibility.
Yep. Another one is there's actually renovation financing.
Okay.
Someone could buy something and they can wrap the renovation cost into their loan. I usually explain it more like a last resort. The reason being renovation loans can tend to be a little bit more expensive for borrowers, and there's less expensive ways to get the same thing accomplished, whether if it's escrow holdback. Sometimes the renovation is more aesthetic, not safety.
Yes.
And so people can buy with, let's say they wanted to do 20% down, we'll just get them a 10% down loan or a 5% down loan. So effectively, we're financing their reno at a lower cost.
Okay.
Or they can get into the place and there's another type of loan they can get afterwards just specifically for the reno.
Okay.
So I try to help people not make short-sighted decisions, and really think about things globally based on their plan and their finances.
It's a lot of different programs, and again, we're coming back to that theory of personalized service, working with the borrowers and your clients to make sure that their objectives are getting met, affordability-wise, program-wise,
Absolutely.
the right
I'm giving
fit.
objective advice,
Sure.
not just shaking my head.
Trying to close the deal.
Correct.
That's fantastic.